What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing the Chelsea 2 Dortmund nil review. Feels good. It actually feels so good to have that win. It's one of those Champions League games where, you're sweating the entire game because you really want to win the game. I remember there's been plenty of games like that for Chelsea. That Barcelona game back in 2012 was horrible. Like I was nervous throughout that whole game. There was a few games in that Champions League run we had a few years ago. That Napoli game from 2012 was bad as well. But this was a game that I always felt when we drew Dortmund, it was winnable. Like, Dortmund are a good team, don't get me wrong. They have some really nice players. Obviously, had quite a few of their players injured, but it was always a game that was like, it's there to be won. You know what I mean? Like, we are a better team. And in the end we did win, and it was a really good performance in my opinion. Probably one of Graham Potter's best performances in a Chelsea shirt in terms of this is one of the best I've seen Chelsea play under him. Maybe the AC Milan games are up there as well. We've struggled against some of the big sides we've played against. I don't know if we've beaten like a top six side under Graham Potter in the Prem. But Chelsea have struggled to win games under Graham Potter. That Leeds game was a good win, but this feels good. I also feel like the fans are going to give Graham Potter a bit more time. It was just a really good performance. Hopefully this is the turn for him and we start winning games, we start seeing better results. I just think everybody played really well. I think all of the managerial decisions were pretty spot on. Yes, we got a little bit lucky with the whole penalty thing, but the game's the game, you know what I mean? So the first half we came out, we were on top for like the first 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes, typical Chelsea. We created 2 or 3 chances in that time. Koulibaly had a header where if he heads it with like he makes good contact, he probably scores. Kai Havertz gets put through on goal again, hits the ball into the crowd. João Felix goes past Sule, but the touch was too heavy, so he kicks it straight at the keeper. We could have been 3-0 up really quickly. I mean, they're not like full on big chances, but they were half chances. Then Dortmund kind of grew into the game for a while, and I started to get nervous and frustrated again. Typical Chelsea fashion. I was very frustrated with the way like they were pitting us in our own half. They were passing the ball around. We weren't pressing properly. We got lucky that Dortmund didn't really create anything. They had that Royce free kick, which Pepper Camera saved. He should have saved it anyway. Let's not pretend like he shouldn't have saved that. I think all the shots he saved, he probably should have. Then we had another bit of sustained pressure towards the end of the half. We were seeing our players miss everything. So whoever was Sterling, Felix, Havertz, Chilwell, which couldn't put the ball in, gets a bit of luck where Sterling air kicks the ball and then he thunderbolted it into the net. That was so relieving. See Raheem Sterling score, because I think Raheem Sterling was one of our worst players on the pitch to that point. I think he was going to sub Raheem Sterling off at half time if he didn't score, because I saw Mudryk getting told to warm up just before he scored that. I was like, Raheem Sterling is having a dismal game. He was offside like 2 or 3 times, right, when he got put for on goal. I was like, he's struggling. He was taking too long on the ball. First half performance was good enough, 1-0. Come out in the second half, straight away penalty. In terms of the second half performance, straight away we get a penalty. In my opinion, that is a penalty, bro. Like, the guy's hand is clearly out and blocking the ball. Like, if it's not like his hand was pulled away, or his hand was close to his body. His hand is clearly sticking out. I mean, we've seen those not given, especially in the Prem, and this is why I think Prem refereeing is really bad. Like, it's dog shit, because to me, that is always a penalty. Like, unless it's super, super close, which it wasn't, there was enough time, there was enough distance on that. He clearly blocks the cross from going into the box with that handball. To me, that is clearly a handball. I mean, that Souček one was also a handball, but, the Premier League refs are disgraceful and they're shit. I think even though the European refs can maybe be a bit too much, like, they can give too many fouls. Like, I think like this ref blew for everything and anything. Like, he gave everything as a foul, which is a bit annoying at times, but also I think it is a little bit more fair. I do think some of them were soft. To me, that is a penalty. At least this ref had the humility to at least check the screen and then go, oh, it is a penalty. Whereas in the Prem, they would have been like, oh no, you're correct, bro. Don't worry. Don't check the screen. You know what I mean? Like, just I don't understand it. In terms of the penalty, Kai Havertz stepped up. I was nervous. I don't think Kai Havertz should be our penalty taker, but you know what? He hits the post. I was just like, shit. Here we go. Here we go. And then encroachment. I don't know if the refs ever really call encroachment. It's something that very rarely gets called because it happens on every single penalty. I don't know if it was the goalkeeper that he took like a step off the line. I think it was that Guerrero ran into the box and ended up clearing the rebound. And if he wasn't in the box when the penalty was kicked, maybe would have had a shot again. All that drama just to take the penalty again. Havertz, same place, slotted it home. 2-0, and at that point the game was pretty much done. Like, Dortmund didn't really create anything. Like, Jude Bellingham had that chance to poke it into the goal. I mean, there was one in the first half where they like flashed it across the goal and no one was there to tap it in. But apart from that, There was a few weak shots that went straight at Kepa or that was blocked. They did put a little bit of pressure on us, but we've seen this Chelsea team under Thomas Tuchel play a similar way, where once we're winning the game, we'll just sit back, we'll absorb pressure and we'll counter. And we did have a few counter-attacking opportunities that we fucked up. It was a solid performance. I think Graham Potter's substitutions as well was good. I think bringing on Conor Gallagher for João Felix. João Felix didn't look happy to be coming off, but my man, you didn't like. I'm just gonna sit here and say you didn't play that well. So, he brought on Conor Gallagher for that energy to solidify it. I think Conor Gallagher did really well when he came on, to be fair. And then he brought on Christian Pulisic, which I don't know if it was to give him some minutes. Right, maybe it's against Dortmund, it was more sentimental. But if I'm Mudryk, I am very, very salty that I didn't see the pitch. Again, I know he's a very attacking player and his work rate isn't there, but my man brought on Christian Pulisic in front of you, and Christian Pulisic might not even be here. That speaks volumes to me about Mudryk and Graham Potter's current opinion of him. But we're going to get into the player ratings. We'll start off with Kepa in goal. Made a few good saves. That free kick save, there was another save that was a good save in there. I mean, he saved everything he should have. He didn't really make any mistakes. Did he flap at anything? Maybe once or twice, but he was solid. His passing out the back was very good. I think Kepa's passing out the back. He was always a good ball playing goalkeeper, but I think he's improved even more on that. And I think he could be a number one goalkeeper moving forward for Chelsea if we want him to be. I'll give him a 7. Reece James wasn't all that involved in the game, but when he was, you could see he was dangerous. He put a few really good crosses into the box that in the first half that created some chances. He didn't really get forward in the second half as much, but he was very solid. I think Dortmund did not create anything down their left or our right side. Him and Fofana might have had quite quiet games, but everything that came their way, they got rid of. I'll give him a 6. I mean, I'll give him a 6. He didn't really affect the game, but he was solid enough. He counted when he needed to. Still doesn't look maybe to his best that he could be. But again, he struggled with injuries, so we'll give him more time. Fofana again, solid. Continued on that performance. Wasn't the main man in the defense today. I don't think he was the most impressive, but Dortmund just didn't really go down that side. And every time they did, they got stuffed out. I give him also a 6.5. I give Reece a 6.5. I give him a 6.5. They didn't stand out, but they did their job. They had that hidden impact on the game. Koulibaly today was immense. This is Koulibaly's potentially best performance I've seen from him. He was so dominant in the air. And look, Haller's a big striker, right? And they would occasionally try to put the ball up to him. They didn't really use him to his ability, right? But every time the ball was in the air into the box from a corner or from a free kick, Koulibaly was getting his big head on that. He won every single header. He didn't have any rushes of blood to the head where he was like, let me just sprint out of my position and try and win the ball back. There was one time in the first half where he did run out of his position, and there was some really nice play where he did some really nice sort of tiki-taka play with Chilwell and Felix and sent João Felix away. So, yeah, I think Koulibaly really stepped up in this game. Hopefully he can continue to improve. I will give him an 8. I think it was a really good performance. Cucurella, definitely one of his best performances. I'm not someone who's really down on Cucurella. I think he's a good player. Like I said in my tier list, I think he should be starting in this team. I think he's a really good player. And we saw, I think, all of the best bits of his game against Dortmund. He was really aggressive in the press. He was getting forward. He was winning the ball. He was always pushing out at the right time. He was always staying in at the right time. There was a few moments where him and Chilwell did get caught out. But for the most part, it was just a really solid performance. The thing that impressed me most was his passing forward. Dortmund would press and he would just give a straight vertical pass straight into somebody. That's one thing about Chelsea in this performance. They did do a lot more direct passes straight into the attacker's feet rather than trying to pass it around too much at the back. To me, Cucurella, immense performance. I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. One of the best performances I've seen of the year, in my opinion. Left wing back, Ben Chilwell, another really solid game. I think defensively today, he was much better than I've seen him. I've questioned his defensive ability over the last few weeks because of what I've been seeing from him. He's getting ripped to left, right, and centre. I think against Leeds at the 5 at the back, he just thrives in that left wing back position because he doesn't have to worry too much defensively and he can affect the game going forward because he's a really good crosser of the ball. We've seen his corners, his crosses. That corner against Leeds led to a goal. The Raheem Sterling goal was a cross from him that got to Raheem. So I just think this gets the best out of Chilwell. I think he played well again. I give him a 7. In terms of the midfield, both worked really hard in Enzo and Kovacic. I think they had more hidden impact on the game. You didn't really see what they did, but they did really well because, Dortmund's midfield, very athletic. they have three in the midfield, so they were trying to overload Enzo and Kovacic, who may not be the most athletic players, obviously. I think they both did really well. I think Kovacic from the ball was good. He put in a lot of hard work. Enzo Fernandez as well. They ran all day, man. Enzo Fernandez, I think I saw he had the most balls won in that game. I think it was 10. With Kovacic, I'll give him like a 6.5. With Enzo Fernandez, I think this was one of those games where a lot of his impact is hidden. I think he has in a lot of good positions. I think there was a lot of times where he made some very nice passes forward, as you do, but he wasn't the most flashy player in the team. He's one of those players where you don't need to see his impact, but you know he's having a good game. Sometimes it looks like he's running around like a headless chicken, but I think it's all very sort of targeted running, similar to Jorginho, right? Like he seems to be in the right position at the right time. I think he won the ball back the most, like I said, 10 times. Just a very, very solid player. And I think he can only get better. I'll give Enzo at 6.5 as well. In terms of the front three, the big three, starting with Raheem Sterling. Yes, he scored the goal, but I just think Raheem didn't play that well. Like, I think in some of our other games, he's played very well, but today, he just seemed kind of out of the game. There was 3 or 4 times where he was just caught offside. I know a few of them were very tight, but it's like, you're playing against Sule, brother. Man is really slow. It's like, you're meant to be super quick. But he did get outpaced by, was it Schlotterbeck or Wolf? So maybe he has lost a bit of his pace. I don't know. But it was one of those where it's like, Raheem looked a bit sloppy and devoid of confidence, but then he scored that goal and, all was forgiven. It was a very interesting tactical tweak that Potter did where he put Raheem Sterling almost as the false nine for the first half and Havertz was playing on the right, and I think that really benefited Kai Havertz. They were trying to abuse like Dortmund's high line by putting Raheem Sterling down the middle with his pace, right? Someone who likes to run in behind, but that's not really Kai Havertz's game. I think if Raheem Sterling had timed a few of those runs better, then he probably would have had like a hat trick. He could have had a hat trick. But yeah, for me, I'm going to give Raheem a 5.5. I just think the goal buffed his performance. I don't think it was a great performance from him. In terms of João Felix, I'm also going to give him a 5.5. I think there were moments of, where he shows his quality. I just think it was reminiscent of a Mason Mount performance to me. And I'm not a João Felix hater by any means. He's not really impressing me that much as he is other people. Yes, he's had a few good moments here. He can dictate the game. I know he's a talented player, but it's like he'll just disappear from the game. Like he'll have a 20-minute spell and then you won't see from him again. It's like, is he on the pitch? That's what I got from Marco Reus on the other team. I didn't even know Marco Reus was playing. João Felix, for a lot of that game, I was like, what's going on? Like he's not affecting the game. Sometimes he's just making poor decisions and he's taking way too many touches instead of releasing the ball. There was one classic Mason Mount moment where he gets the ball on a counter-attack and all he has to do is switch it and we're in and he messes the switch up. I need to see more for a player who is potentially going to cost 80 million plus. Like at this point, I'm just saying I probably wouldn't pay that. But it should all be positive. I think he didn't play poorly by any means. I just think I need to see more from him. And like I said, 5.5. Kai Havertz today, I give him an 8. I think Kai Havertz was our best attacker. I think this is one of his best performances I've seen. And it is frustrating because I think everyone knows Kai Havertz has talent to do something. It's just that for some reason, in every match he can't perform. Like he can't produce this performance regularly. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I honestly don't know what it is with him. Scored the penalty. Maybe could have scored another one. I just think he was playing off the right. He was coming deeper. It's affecting the game. He was getting involved in build-up play. He wasn't playing slow and lethargic, you know what I mean? He was actually doing what he needed to do and proving that he is a quality player. He was doing his regular, I'll run around and press. I just think it was a much better performance. He linked the play really well. Didn't lose the ball, didn't give the ball away cheaply, didn't take poor touches. And it's almost like he isn't a striker, which he isn't. And like I said, one of his best performances for Chelsea. I've criticised him a lot, but I'll be the first to give him praise when he plays well. In terms of the subs, real quick, Conor Gallagher came on, shored the game up, scored a tap in, but it was given offside, obviously. 6, I think he did his job. Zakaria didn't really have that much time to do anything. Also a 6. Pulisic, I'm not sure why Mudryk didn't come on. I just think Pulisic looked rusty. There was a few moments I was like, brother, come on, man. He's been out for so long. Also, I'll give him a 6. That's the Chelsea v Dortmund review. Just very happy to be through to the next round. Yeah, all in all, just very happy to be through to the next round, man. That's all I have to say on that. It's just relief. It's just relief that we're still in another competition. We're not going to watch Chelsea beat FC for the rest of the year. Now we have more to play for. It wouldn't shock me, though, if we go to Leicester and put a disaster class in on the weekend because that is the Chelsea way. But yeah, that is all for today, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, all that nonsense, and I'll see you all in the next one.